Okay, here he comes.
Whoop. Whoop.
Hello, I'm Recoded Zaphod, and welcome to episode 8 on the Season 2 CentriCraft server. At the start of this episode, I'm going to show you some stuff that happened. It was kind of in between episodes, because basically I was trying to get some more gunpowder from creepers out here, so I was fighting off some mobs, just so I had enough gunpowder for rockets so I can fly around without worrying, which is always nice. Ow. When the lag's not too bad anyway. And yeah, basically I got Bad Omen off of killing a pillager patrol, and I accidentally started a raid at my village over here. So yeah, I'll show you what happened there. Alright, so I'm going to show you this raid as a compilation of me killing all the pillagers and vindicators and all the other raiders. Mainly because it saves a bit of time, because the raid can last for quite some time, particularly with all the running off and healing up, and when it becomes nighttime, trying to run to a bed to make it day again. So yeah, it saves all of that. And to be honest, not seeing me running away to heal up makes me look like I'm fairly good at the raid. So that's always helpful. I did actually get quite a lot of emeralds in this raid, because quite a lot of indicators were there, and I've got looting 3 on my sword. So that's always a useful thing to have. You see here, I managed to take out the evoker first, which is a bit of advice for you if you're doing raids, because the evokers summon the Vex, and they'll keep summoning them. So if you take them out quickly, it stops the Vex being able to come out and hit you. So unfortunately, as you saw just there, I was taking down a witch, and the sword, because it has a sweeping edge, it managed to catch my cat as well. So the rest of this raid felt a bit like vengeance for getting my cat caught in the crossfire. I did also realise, though, that during this raid, that I didn't have a Ravager anymore, because if you've been watching my series, you might know that I made Ravager Island a while ago for Ravagers, but it despawned because I didn't name tag it. So yeah, I decided to kill off all the non-Ravager raiders and just go for them. And it's just Ravagers. Right. I am going to try and name tag these Ravagers, which is certainly not going to be the easiest of tasks. Friendly beast. And it's like a Hulk version of a horse, right? Hulk horse. That will do. Okay. Well, hopefully they'll come to me. I can get the name tags on them. And then I've got to try and trap them somewhere I can transport them over to there. Okay, I think I did that. I think that's one named. Now my bigger problem is making sure I name the other one. Okay, now that's Hulk horse. I think what I might do is teleport myself out. Okay. So I think that one's Hulk horse, right? Why can I not see its name? Yep, that's Hulk horse. And then this one on the left can be Friendly Beast. Alright. So they're named, so now they won't despawn, hopefully. And the raid timer should time out. I think it's after half an hour on a single wave. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Question is, can I get them over there naturally through the water? I think there's a problem with my my bridge being in the way. You know what, if I grab some dirt and I can make a bridge across there. Okay, here he comes. And he's still coming. Good, good. Ow. Okay. And I think he's trapped in there. I think my problem is going to be my second one. I don't know how exactly I'm going to bait him in without putting myself in the path of the first one. So I guess I just have to hope that the first one doesn't get too many hits off. Right. Okay, well, Hulk Horse is over here, so it must be Friendly Beast that I've already got on the island. You able to move? You look a little stuck. Okay, well, he seems to be stuck in there. Right, if I do that. Okay, I survived that, and I think... Yes, I've got both of them in there now. Okay, it's totally Ravager Island again. Ooh. That went very well. Let's try and get those bits of wall back in. And while there's still Ravagers around, I am not putting down this Totem of Undying. Oh no. How did he get up there? Did they push each other out somehow? Okay. How did he get up on the wall? I'm so confused. I'm sure I spaced it out, so I shouldn't be able to do that. Are they both in here now? No, he's not. Okay, that got a bit close. Ooh, I think they're both in again. Okay, now the issue is once again trying to get the cobble walls in without them being able to get up on top of them. Okay, I think I've done it. I think they're both in. Woohoo! They're both in, and I can take this bridge down now. And I definitely have a lot less leaves here than I did before. I might have to redecorate this little bit of area here, because the Ravagers definitely came through and destroyed all the leaves. Yeah. Good, good. I've repopulated Ravager Island. Right, yeah, so I managed to get a couple of Ravagers back onto Ravager Island. Oh, I'm going very fast there. So yeah, these two are chilling there, and I think I haven't seen them up on the wall since. So I think it was a case of they were on the wall and just hadn't come down off of it, rather than them somehow being able to get up onto the wall. So yeah, I've got two of them this time, rather than just one I had last time, and both named, so they should be hanging around for a while. I think what I want to be doing right now, actually there's a few things I want to get on with. One of which is, you may notice over here, I started building a spiral staircase up this tree, which I did actually start in a stream, but there was connection issues and lag, so I decided to end the stream like pretty much just after I'd started it, because it was really laggy and had a bad frame rate and stuff. So yeah, but I started on that, and I do want to expand this soon. In particular, I think I want to be putting a sorting system around these trees just here, which I think are going to make up the core of my jungle village, because you've got like 3 big trees next to each other up here, and then I probably extend them to include the top of this tree over here as well, and then I can have bridges across to all these other little bits and have my villagers up in these trees, and then that will be a little bit away from my training hall and away from the Ravagers, so if I want to do a raid there at any point, I ought to be able to do it on the far side and not get the Ravagers interfering and not risk my trading hall getting attacked in a raid. So yeah, that's my plan for over there. But before I get on with that, I actually need to get some more enchanting done, because basically in the 1.14.3 update, which we're not in yet, but we will be soon, I don't know exactly when, but the ability to put different types of protection onto armor is disappearing. So I've collected up the different protections I want on legs and helmets, because doing that you can generate the same gear that I've got here. So I want at least one backup set for myself, and then a couple of sets I might want to sell to the other CentriCraft members, or possibly a couple of spares for me, depending. But yeah, I've been collecting these up and getting a set of books. I haven't got the Respiration and Aqua Affinity for the helmets. I think the leggings are complete with the 5. Yes, that's 5 items. But yeah, I should have a couple more for the helmets, which I haven't got the books for yet. But I can add them afterwards. It's just as long as the dual protections are already on it before we update. So I think that's going to be what I'm going to be focused on here, is trying to get the protection types onto there. And because of the way I want to efficiently match up books, it's worth combining them with, I think, at least one of the extra books to make it so it ends up being cheap getting all the books on, because you want to combine some books first. So yeah, I'm going to grab these. I've got a few levels, but I'm still probably going to take this lot over to the End Island, so I can kill off some Endermen for extra levels when I run out. Alright, so after much staring at Enderman to get all the XP, I have these 5 sets here, and my backup set now completely made. I haven't bothered with the chestplate or boots, because they don't actually have more than one type of protection on them, because you don't actually need all the different protections and all the different pieces to max out the protection type. So yeah, it would have been just wasteful and taken ages to get all of them and all of them. So with these, and then just a normal prop 4 chestplate, and then prop 4 boots with whichever other enchantments you want on it, Depth Strider or Feather Falling, or Frostwalker. But yeah, I'm not sure how expensive to make these. I might make some more if I get a chance. I am thinking possibly of doing one set with thorns on as well, because although you could technically put thorns on these after you've got this all set up. It actually works out a lot cheaper XP wise to do it earlier on. So yeah, I might make a set with thorns on to be my sort of my battle armor when I actually want to be fighting things, if I'm doing a raid or fighting the dragon again or taking on a wither, because yeah, usually I don't like having thorns on my armor in case I'm baiting a zombie villager around or something like that and accidentally deal damage to a mob that I don't want to. So yeah, but I've got those pretty much done now. So I think the next project I want to be working on is my sugarcane farm, because although it's not hard to chop down all the sugarcane, because you just stand in the middle and do this, and you just go up and down the rows, chopping it all down. You then have to wander all the way through this, collecting it all, which is actually really irritating and takes up a lot of time. So I think what I want to do to this is make this semi-automatic by putting a hopper minecart underneath. So I think one of the things I'll be doing is taking out these slabs and replacing them with steps, which will be facing like upwards or like across, because that way I can run a minecart hopper directly underneath it while it's still a water source. I'm pretty certain it will still count for both sides. That's something I should definitely check actually. But yeah, and then I'll be able to harvest this much more easily, which will be good for getting more emeralds, and I completely failed to take off then. Wow, okay. And I'm the only one online as well. That's rather irritating. But yeah, and then I can use this, turn it all into paper, sell it to all my librarians, because I've got loads of them. How did you get in? That is an issue. What? Where would you have spawned? That's all half slabs. Could he have dropped down from a roof? Or climbed over? That's very worrying. And oh, I've got this space here. Oh, okay, that's on me. From I was trying to get all of these guys to get professions, so I was throwing down lecterns here, and obviously I forgot to cover this back up. Okay, well at least I know what it was, and none of them have become zombies, so that's all good. Okay, so I've done like one of these, and because I was sort of standing in water and placing the stairs, they've all ended up this way around, which I think is fine. I'm just going to have to keep all of them that way around for the whole of the farm, I think, just to keep it consistent. And I've started on this one, and I've already run out of stairs, so I think I need to grab a whole lot of wood, because there's a lot in there, and I'm going to end up with a whole load of slabs as well coming out of this, but I'm sure I'll find a use for them, particularly as they're jungle, so they'll probably end up in my jungle village, in all the bridges and little village buildings I want to put up in the trees. Alright, so now I have also dug out the entire area beneath my sugarcane farm. So I marked out the edge with some cobblestone so I knew where it was, and I could just come down here and dig. I'll try and light up some of it. You can sort of see it's quite a large area down here. And now I need to get some rails in here and make it so that the track goes underneath everything in there. Alright, so after much mining to get all of the iron for all of this, turns out this area is much bigger than I was expecting, given like resources for it. And it's quite a mess trying to get all of these little bits in, because it's all twisting all over the place, because this end up here is not a flat edge. So when you get to places like this, it has to go out and then forwards and then can't loop around until you've got a double next to it. Because otherwise you'd end up trapping one block without a rail underneath it. But I did eventually manage to get all of these to fill up, apart from this one spot here, which obviously you can't do because if it goes in, it'd have to bounce back. So I'd have to end the rail in the one spot. And yeah, I didn't really want to do that. So that spot won't be collecting items from above. But the rest of this, I've managed to get it to fill up the entire space. And hopefully the minecart hopper won't be jumping across tracks or anything. So we'll cover the whole area, hopefully. Like I said, it's a bit of a wiggle, zigzagging all over the place, particularly around here. Sort of change which direction it's all going in quite a lot, but it's all in. And I got a whole load of resources when I was mining for all the iron, and had to get more gold as well for the powered rails. And of course I got more redstone from that as well, so I had plenty of redstone to do the redstone blocks here. But I'm going to put in a unloading station at both ends. So one of them's going to be at this end, and the other is going to be over at this end, in this corner. And I have the unloading stations in. So they're these ones, which you might have seen before, possibly. Comparator reads the hopper, so if there's any items going through it, it powers this blocks, depowers the torch, depowers the block, depowers this block, which depowers the rail, so the hopper minecart stops moving. And then as soon as there stops being items flowing through, it all reverses and you get this powered, and the hopper minecart speeds off again. So I've done both of these, so hopefully if I put this on here, we should hopefully see that this will eventually make its way all the way around to the other one. Okay, it's still moving around. This might be slower than I thought. I don't know if it's worth having two carts, if it's going to take this long to get under the whole thing, because I don't want items despawning before it gets to them, particularly as you've only got one inventory's full worth of stuff in there. All right, here we go on the last section. Coming around the last few rails, and if it's not already full, it should be picking up more stuff here. And okay, it did have some stuff in, and I don't think it was full. Oh, it might have picked up some mob loot instead of just sugarcane. That's all right, I guess, but it's gonna sort of fill it up, particularly as it takes a while to get around. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a second one of these, so each side sort of does half the farm itself. All right, so I now have two carts running on my rails, and yeah, they're bringing in a bit of sugarcane when I harvest it. It's still a bit slow in terms of there's too much sugarcane for the hopper minecarts, so I still have to try and collect most of it. But as I'm, chopping it down, I'm going to be picking up the majority of it, so the hopper minecarts can still get the rest, and they're quick enough to do that from a couple of tests I've done. So that's good, and now I've got lots of sugarcane, and I can start selling it to all my villagers. Well, once I've turned it into paper. And okay, interesting. But I think that is actually going to have to be all for this episode. So, as always, I'd love to hear any feedback you have down in the comments below the video. I've been Recoded Zaphod, and thanks for watching.